This is the After Party, live with Kim McAllister. Pick a couch, grab a drink, and settle into the conversation.
Oh, that's really loud. Oh, goodness. Hi, everybody. It is the After Party Live. Oh, look at I have things showing and cords showing, and what a mess. Thank you for your patience. Thanks for hanging out. And thank you for tolerating me. Hey, party people, says Sandy. Yeah, it was a long Mark Thompson show today, but I think that's all right. I like it when he goes off on a roll, and things that are going on in the environment right now, or with the environment, really, really important. Mindy Lee about the blue dogs. I can't wait to share this story with you. I bet they do have blue blood. I bet they have blue organs, and sadly, it's not for a good reason. Hello to Rev P, and aloha to Jim Liu, and hello, everybody. Let's get this show rolling, because now we don't have very much time, but we do have Waterfalls of Colombia today. Mark is planning to take a trip there, so I thought, well, let's check out the waterfall situation in Colombia. But before we get there, let us talk about these blue dogs. Oh my goodness. Yeah, they're really blue. Here's another picture of this. These dogs are blue, bright blue. Why? They live near the Chernobyl exclusion zone, and they have mysteriously turned blue. This is quite concerning. It's from pollution, from chemical waste right near this Russian factory. So these dogs are stray dogs. There's a pack of them. And they're believed to have been turned blue by pollution spotted near a disused factory in Russia. The thinking is that there's chemical waste near this abandoned Soviet-era plant, and authorities are now checking it out. They are trying to round these animals up to test them. The pictures of the dogs were taken by people that live in this area, local residents near this old plant. It was a factory that closed due to financial problems about 6 years ago. When it was in operation, it was a really large chemical production facility. They made hydrocyanic acid and plexiglass. Apparently, that's a pretty polluting process. The plant's bankruptcy manager says, nah, these pictures aren't fake, or these pictures aren't real, they're fake, it's some kind of a prank. They also say that the animals, the dogs, could have found some type of copper sulfate, which is a chemical that can cause inflammation while they were wandering around the abandoned buildings in the area. Maybe it had old chemicals rolled in, and maybe it was copper sulfate. They don't know. I will say, the way this old plant was left, I mean, I can imagine how animals that were here, and I'll show you this picture. I mean, it's completely disgusting. It's not like they cleaned up and left vacant buildings. It's trashed. I mean, if this is how they left it, wires hanging, pipes hanging, debris all over the floor, then they haven't taken much care here. And perhaps if they didn't take much care with their, leaving process, they likely didn't take much care with their process of wrapping up the chemicals. So are these pictures a hoax, or are these pictures real? There's a nonprofit that's taking care of these dogs in this Chernobyl exclusion zone in Ukraine, trying to solve the mystery now of why these animals have turned blue. The Dogs of Chernobyl group is affiliated with the Clean Futures Fund charity, and right now their workers are out trying to trap these dogs. They're supposed to be spayed and neutered, and they were out trying to find them to do that when they found the blue dogs. So they say, we're on the ground now catching dogs for sterilization, and we came across 3 dogs completely blue, and we're not exactly sure what's going on. So the residents in the area say the dogs had not been blue 1 week earlier. There's about 700 dogs living in the Chernobyl exclusion zone that are descendants of the pets that were abandoned when this area was evacuated during the nuclear power plant meltdown in 1986. Does one thing have anything to do with the other? The Clean Futures Fund says the blue color is unlikely to be the result of any radioactivity. Most likely, the dogs have gotten into some sort of chemical. Maybe blue liquid leaking from a portable toilet? Maybe something from that old plant? And despite the blue color, the dogs, they said, appear to be healthy and active. So they're trying to catch them all and figure out exactly what's going on with the blue dogs of Chernobyl. Yikes. Well, this is an exciting Halloween shopping adventure. Yeah, that's a monkey. This monkey loose inside of a Spirit Halloween store. It happened in Texas. All my exes live in Texas. This pet monkey gets loose from its owner inside of a Spirit Halloween store and spent more than a half hour swinging from rafters and poles all over the store. This woman, Arlene in Texas, said she and her daughters were shopping at the Spirit Halloween store in Plano, Texas, when they saw this monkey. She said, my daughter looked up and said, what in the world? Is that a real monkey? And the woman said, well, it has a diaper on, so guessing it's real. And then they got video of the monkey running and swinging loose through the store. Apparently, the monkey was spooked by an animatronic Halloween display and fled from its owner or human. They said it was very entertaining. A lot of people just stood and watched this monkey go for a half hour. There were kids trying to catch the monkey. It's crazy in the store. Finally, a police officer comes out, responds to the store toward the end of the monkey's time on the loose. Eventually, a cookie was offered to the monkey by its owner. The owner able to gain control of it. They say the monkey was not injured, didn't ever pose a risk to the human customers. Yeah. So that's what happened there. There is local video of it where I think perhaps it warrants a look-see. What do you think? I think so. I mean, monkeys swinging from the rafters? Sure. I'll take a look at that. Why not? Here's what it looked like.
Okay, a monkey escaped its owner inside of a Spirit Halloween store in Plano, and our Meredith Yeomans has the videos to prove it.
And just shock, sheer shock.
A Spirit Halloween store can be a surreal shopping experience. But creepy clowns and spooky scarecrows took a backseat Monday night to the real show, running around above store shelves. Arlene Pinkston was shopping with her daughters at a Spirit store off 75 in Plano.
My daughter looked up and she said, what in the world? And she's like, is that a real monkey? And so I look up and I said, well, it's got a diaper on, so I guess it is real.
For more than 30 minutes, the monkey could be seen climbing poles, swinging from wires, and crawling around rafters. Jimmy Harris works at the store. He says the pet monkey got spooked by animatronics and ran away from a customer who brought the animal inside.
It was entertaining. I mean, it was like, I mean, a lot of people just stood and watched it for like 30 minutes, like the whole time. There was a monkey. And you had kids trying to catch it. And
Plano police were called to the store and tell us when an officer arrived, he observed the monkey swinging from the rafters wearing a diaper. Eventually, a cookie was offered to the monkey by the owner and was able to gain control of it. Arlene Pinkston was not there for that.
It had jumped down on the floor and ran past my leg. And at that point, I was like, okay, I've had enough.
A picture or it didn't happen experience.
I've got better than that for you. I've got 5 videos.
Hair raising for different reasons. In Plano, Meredith Yeomans, NBC5.
All right. I should have just played the video and not told you the story twice, but amusing nonetheless. This is an interesting story, and it comes from Teacher Lori. Thank you so much for sending this in. It is about building materials and scientists that have made this major discovery. This could be, it looks like it's going to be a really big deal and a very significant change when it comes to the way we build things, because we use so much concrete and it's really not good for the world. Very wasteful cycle. The way that we use concrete, we take stone to make it, and then whatever we don't use or whatever we tear down, we send to a landfill when we're done with it. According to Princeton University, making cement, concrete, adds to staggering 8% of the world's carbon pollution. So this is no bueno. There's a new study, though, that was recently published where researchers have figured out that if they use something else, perhaps some type of finely crushed stone to replace sand and new mortar, the recycling process is a lot easier, a lot better for the world. So here's what they say. Finely crushed concrete waste can be used to completely replace sand and new mortar. For years, using old concrete was tricky because it's full of tiny cracks that usually make it weaker. So kind of like a sponge where it's porous and less dense. And it's limited how much recycled material could safely be used in new construction. But if you carefully control the particle size of the crushed waste, well, then you can create recycled sand that's actually stronger than the original. And that's a game changer. They say mortars using the recycled sand were up to 15% stronger than the new ones. So it could pay off to recycle, right? It's not just a small improvement, it's a challenge, they say, to a massive global issue. The study published in Materials. Let me see the name of the publication. My apologies. I think the publication is the journal Materials. I thought it had more words to it, but it's just Materials. They say the global economy is facing a significant challenge with its current linear model of production and consumption. But if they do it the new way, which makes concrete even stronger, it offers a way to create a circular system where old materials are endlessly reused instead of thrown away. The idea is already being put into place, tested in Paris, where developers have built the first ever housing complex using 100% recycled concrete. There are other people who are getting in on this as well, some adding biochar from farm waste to make the concrete even stronger. In Japan, scientists are making a new kind of concrete that traps pollution inside of it. So there's a lot of things being done because concrete is such a big problem when you consider pollution. So this is a big thing. And thank you, Teacher Lori, for sending this to us. Hopefully we'll have some stronger concrete and the skies will be cleaner. The report, by the way, comes from AZO Build. Pretty good. Speaking of construction and things, potholes, always a problem, right? The town where I live consistently, I mean, we're trying over here, but consistently ranks the highest in the Bay Area of the cities with the most potholes. Petaluma potholes are infamous. As a matter of fact, there's a Rocky Road ice cream named Petaluma Pothole from a local company. It's a thing. What if we didn't have potholes anymore? What if we could eliminate potholes completely? That's the thinking with new asphalt that could make potholes extinct. Adding graphene to the mix could be a powerful pavement supplement. The results of a groundbreaking trial in the UK suggest graphene-infused roads could be the way of the future. They did a test outside of London in Essex County in the UK. They found that lanes that were created with one of the world's strongest known materials outperformed and outlasted traditional asphalt. The name of this new asphalt is called G-Pave, G-I-P-A-V-E, Guy-Pave, G-Pave. We know that for cities and counties around the world, road maintenance is one of the most costly issues. There was a study done in 2021 where an estimated 206 billion was spent on highway and street repairs. The Pew Research study said it was 6% of all available funds, and it wasn't even enough to fix the problem. So this G-Pave may be the way to do this, because you know that in asphalt, you're always going to get cracks. Over time, materials weaken, there's stress on the roads, and once enough cars have passed over, the cracks turn into chunks breaking off, and we get potholes. Not potholes, potholes, potholes. The average vehicle repair after you hit a pothole is about $600. Around the United States, yearly, drivers pay about $26.5 billion to fix damage done by hitting potholes. You know, you've all hit them. You've hit a pothole hard where you thought, "Ooh, I wonder if I just popped a tire." So normal asphalt, or current asphalt, is made from a mixture of stone aggregates that are held together with viscous petroleum-based bitumen. But engineers started experimenting with adding graphite-derived material graphene into the mix, which was first used commercially in the early 2000s. It's made from a single layer of carbon atoms arranged in what they say are honeycomb-like lattices. It makes it really resilient and super conductive. 1 million times thinner than a single human hair. It's also the thinnest known two-dimensional structure. They already use it in electric batteries and semiconductors and other products, but it has 200 times the strength of steel. So urban planners are looking at it as a construction additive. And they're doing that in the UK, adding it to asphalt, a graphene and an asphalt mix, with this paving material now called Guy-Pave, G-Pave. Workers laying over 165 tons of it for a lane on a new highway entrance road near London. They also added a second lane using traditional asphalt for the control of this study. And then they exposed both lanes to thousands of car and truck tires through every season's changing weather and temperatures for 3 years. So they did this in 2022. At the end of the experiment, third-party engineers extracted core samples from both lanes, and they took it to the lab for analysis. They measured how much pressure it took to distort each dry sample, then tested it again after immersing it in water for 72 hours. The graphene-enhanced asphalt performed 10% better in stiffness tests, 20% better when it came to water sensitivity, which we know is when many potholes are formed. And they noticed that when the G-Pave did fracture, it was the stone aggregate that cracked, not the bitumen or the bond between the two ingredients. And what they said is that it means the graphene really does strengthen pavement's overall resilience and make it safer. It's a more eco-friendly option as well. The one drawback is that it's expensive. It costs 30 cents per square foot to use G-Pave, less than $1. Maybe might not seem like a lot, but it makes the road repair costs go up quite a bit. So, but if we used it to fill existing potholes, perhaps we'd see the end of potholes for a while. So there you go. Did you know there is a secret ingredient when it comes to antivenom? Snake antivenom? It is llamas. Their antibodies could fight venom from one of the world's deadliest snake species. Thanks, llamas. The study, published in the journal Nature, says that countless lives could be saved by doing this. Venomous snakes account for around 10% of the estimated 4,000 known species in the world. 360 of those 4,000 fall within the Elapidae family, like mambas and cobras, and they're among the world's deadliest snakes. In sub-Saharan Africa, 300,000 venomous snake bites are reported every year. 7,000 people die. 14,000 lose limbs because of it. These are the deadliest snakes because their venoms have these potent neurotoxins that work really fast. And what happens is you start to become paralyzed and your breathing fails. The small, highly diffusible toxins spread quickly through the body, and the lack of timely treatment and access to effective antivenoms contributes to the high mortality and disability rates. But as dangerous as they are to human beings, other mammals have a little bit more protection against these snakes. Alpacas and llamas naturally produce this special antibody variant known as heavy chain only antibodies. And so researchers wondered if using those to specifically engineer proteins called nanobodies might provide new antivenoms for humans. So they immunized these camelids with venoms collected from 18 African snake species, extracted samples, and processed these protein studies by examining which proteins displayed on the surface of a bacteriophage, which is a virus that replicates inside of bacteria cells. Then they looked through libraries to identify any neutralizing nanobodies. It all seems very complicated, but what they found is that this makes these animals good for rapid, deep tissue penetration and reducing local tissue damage. They think a promising breakthrough. So they're going to keep looking at it, but maybe llamas and alpacas hold the answer to saving lives. It's just a great picture of both of those animals, isn't it? How about this? Let's go to the nebula, the Red Spider Nebula. How cool is that picture? This is an image captured by the James Webb Telescope, and it's pretty incredible. This Red Spider Nebula. It almost looks, ethereal. It kind of is ethereal, I would think. These images captured by the James Webb Telescope absolutely continue to completely amaze. It glows in this image. It was caught, they say, in some kind of web. The camera reveals some never-before-seen details of the Red Spider Nebula. The details of this published in the Astrophysical Journal today. We know that planetary nebula form when ordinary stars, like our sun, reach the end of their lifespan. After swelling into cool red giants, the stars will shed their outer layer, sending the debris flying into space. And all that remains when those outer layers are gone is the star's hot white core. The ultraviolet light coming from the central star causes the glow. And the planetary nebula phase of the star's life only lasts a few tens of thousands of years. So, in the universe terms, a blink of an eye, right? The Red Spider Nebula you're looking at is about 3,000 light years away from Earth. It's in the constellation Sagittarius. And in the new picture, caught by the James Webb, the central star of the nebula is glowing a bit brighter than the webs of the dusty gas surrounding it. The James Webb picking up this hot, luminous central star. In previous images of the spider, the red spider nebula, they say that the pardon, I lost my place. Previous images, it was appearing more faint and blue, although it looks a little blue there. But the new image shows it as a more detailed and more red. So you can see more red in this one. The James Webb has also spotted a shroud of hot dust surrounding the central star, which likely orbits the central star in a disk-like structure. So I think it's pretty cool. They say the new view of the Red Spider Nebula reveals the full extent of its outstretched lobes for the first time. The lobes forming the spider's legs are shown in blue, and they're traced by the light emitted by H2 molecules, which have two hydrogen atoms bonded together. And when you look closer at the lobes, they appear to be closed bubble-like structures that each extend about 3 light years. Over thousands of years, outflowing gas from the center of the nebula inflated these massive bubbles. It's just really cool. All right, we'll move on because talk about asthma for a moment. There's a clinical trial, and we talked about this before. There's this new asthma medication that instead of what you see here is an inhaler, it is an injectable drug, which can reduce mucus buildup and improve breathing among some asthma patients. And the clinical trial is now done, showing that this medicine called dupilumab clears up airways plugged by mucus during an asthma attack. The research reported Monday in the American Journal of Respiratory and Critical Care Medicine. The results of this study found half as many patients, I should say, had mucus-plugged airways following treatment with this drug. And just for our notes, you can see the swollen lining of the airway and how on the left, and how mucus could cause, more narrowing. You could see that down below, excess mucus, how that would make a big difference when you're suffering from some type of asthma attack. The researchers say in moderate to severe asthma, a buildup of mucus in the lungs can obstruct breathing airways to the point where affected patients suffer limited breathing, severe asthma attacks, and even death if you can't get enough air. The study done out of Bippesberg Hospital in Copenhagen, Denmark. And they say everyone has mucus in their system, but usually it doesn't bother us, unless maybe we're sick with a cold or flu. But mucus can be life-threatening if you have asthma. If inflammation tightens the airway and breathing is then cut off by phlegm, this becomes a big deal. So for patients who experience increased mucus production with their asthma flares or attacks, it leads to increased stress, distress, and anxiety. And sometimes that mucus can cause gagging because it gets stuck and they can't get it out or cough it out. So this dupilumab was approved in 2017 to treat eczema, interestingly, and now it's been adopted for treatment of other diseases like asthma, sinusitis, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease as well. They looked at 100 asthma patients in this study. You either got an injection of this medicine or a placebo every 2 weeks for 24 weeks. And by the end of the study, only 33% of the patients on dupilumab had mucus severely plugging their airway, compared with 67% at the start. The placebo patients remained as affected by mucus throughout the study, 77% at the end, 73% at the start. Also, the analysis of the patient's breath showed dupilumab was lowering their inflammation. and the patients experienced a significant reduction in exhaled nitric oxide, which is a marker of inflammation. So they say it looks like this drug works, but unfortunately, it is not cheap. A month's supply of 2 injections of this medicine can cost almost $4,000. So we'll wait for that cost to come down, but that could be very helpful for people that suffer from asthma. That was a new record. Look at that. This guy has gone aboard a surfboard for 8 hours, 5 minutes, and 44 seconds. Now, you can see here is a man-made wave, not a wave in the ocean, but it still looks like it's a record. This surfer is from Austria, different A country, and breaks the Guinness World Record for the longest time spent surfing a wave. His name is Maximilian Neubach, and he went to River Wave, which is this man-made wave place. They use currents from nearby rivers to create a permanent surfing wave. It's in Ebenezer, Austria. So Neubach spends 8 hours, 5 minutes, and 44 seconds on this wave, no breaks. He used a spoon to eat a cup of soup while he was surfing. He broke the previous record set in Panama, which was 3 hours, 55 minutes, and 2 seconds riding a wave in the Panama Canal. The man, Maximilian Neubach, ended his attempt by steering his board back toward the dock and sliding off into the water. And with that, it looks like he's got the record. They might still be officiating, but it's 8 hours, 5 minutes, 44 seconds on that wave. That's a long ride. Shall we do the lotto of the day? Here we go. This man from North Carolina went for a haircut and ended up $100,000 richer. His man's name is Oscar. He stopped to get some cash to pay for his haircut, and he ended up winning a $100,000 lottery prize during his visit to a convenience store. He said it wasn't really much special about the Saturday this happened. It's just a normal Saturday. I had a haircut. He discovered after his trim that he didn't have any cash to pay the barber. So he went over to the Lighthouse Food Mart nearby, and while he was there, he bought a $20 Ruby Red 7 scratch-off ticket. He said, something just told me, buy that ticket. So I went for it. He paid his barber, hopefully a nice tip for the barber, and then he went back to his truck, scratched off the ticket, uncovered the $100,000 prize. He said, I was definitely feeling a lot of emotions. He said the money will help him complete some goals that he has, and he's working on the plans for his winnings. Something told me, buy that Ruby Red. I want to switch to this story because I think, I don't know if I have a picture of it. Oh, I do. NVIDIA and Nokia are planning a $1 billion global leading 6G AI platform. I mean, I think NVIDIA just became the first trillion-dollar company. There's the CEO. Yeah. So now we've got a new AI product coming out. NVIDIA putting in $1 billion to enable Nokia to accelerate its development of what they call a world-leading 6G platform to support artificial intelligence, mobile networks, and networking infrastructure. It gives NVIDIA shares in Nokia while providing the capital needed to speed up the development of this technology. They say the partnership is the beginning of the AI native wireless era, the foundation to support AI-powered consumer experiences and enterprise services at the edge. So, NVIDIA is paying $6.01 a share to receive more than 166 million shares for its $1 billion investment in Nokia. Sure, got an extra billion laying around, why not? When the announcement came out yesterday, it caused a 26% rise in Nokia shares after Nokia and Nvidia agreed to this strategic partnership. It enables Nokia to adapt its 5G and 6G software to run Nvidia chips. There are also these two companies going to be working together to develop networking technology that can support AI systems. So, the Nokia president and CEO said the collaborative effort includes Dell Technologies and T-Mobile US to ensure that America leads in the advanced global connectivity that AI needs. I think this is a very big deal. So, there you go. It is time for Waterfall Wednesday. Deep collective breath in and out. And today we're going to Colombia. Here's some of the best waterfalls in Colombia. Look at that one. It just doesn't stop. It's like a beautiful ribbon of water falling down this beautiful jungle-covered hill. Mountain, I should say. Just gorgeous. These are 11 of the most stunning waterfalls in Colombia worth visiting, depending on whether they're in the red zone 4 or the be careful zone 3, right? The first one, this one, is called Cascada La Chorrera. It is the tallest waterfall in Colombia, 590 meters tall. They say it makes it well worth visiting from nearby Bogota. The downside, they say, is it's almost impossible to see the whole waterfall at once. It's so tall. You can't swim there. You can't stand under one of the smaller steps of the waterfall and feel it rain down on you. It is at the end of a 2.5 kilometer trail through woodland and cow pastures, and the cheapest entrance fee is pricey, but it does include a personal hygiene kit, a drawstring bag, you get a drink, and you get snacks. You have to take a bus, and then you get dropped off at this area where you can order a taxi or walk 5 kilometers to the park, and then it's mostly downhill. So, at least there's that. Once you're at the park, the trail easy to follow, slippery and muddy though in some spots. They say try to visit this on a dry day. It's dry for us. We'll visit it like this. And they do say it's awe-inspiring. That's Cascada La Chorrera. The next one on our list is Cascada El Chifon. That's pretty cool looking. This is in the same eco park as the last one. It's also very tall, but it's a different experience. It's possible to walk behind El Chifon. You follow the path from the main trail, and soon you'll be in a narrow 3-sided cave with water pouring down on the other side. You kind of see down at the bottom, there's a cave behind it. Also, if you get to the very bottom of the waterfall, where you'll be able to look up and see the whole thing. Now, you can't get in the water, but you do get to appreciate the sheer scale of it and the thunderous water pouring down. Also said to be a very great spot for pictures. The next one is the Taparto waterfalls. Looks like this one comes down into this really rocky area. Really beautiful. It's near Jardín, Colombia, in the coffee region of the Andes. They say it's quite possibly the cutest pueblo in all of Colombia, Taparto, or Jardín. It's a quiet colonial town known for coffee, chocolate, cool waterfalls, and hikes. This place sounds great. Jardín, Colombia offers a lot. They say even more if you venture outside. And this is where you'll find Taparto waterfalls. It has 3 tiers. One is 35 meters, one is 60 meters, one is 100 meters. Not easy to get to, but very worth it. You got to scramble up some rocks to enjoy the first 2 levels of the falls. The last one, you have to scramble rocks and freehand rock climb a bit and trudge through the forest. But if you get there, it's pretty cool. The next one is called La Ventiadora Waterfall. It is in the San Cipriano Natural Reserve. Oh, that's pretty beautiful. That looks like one you could swim with. This one is a natural waterfall not to be missed. La Ventiadora is one of the most hidden beauty spots in the region, they say. Best to do this with a guide, a local guide from a small village inside the park. It's about 10 meters tall and it has a little pool area where you can swim and experience the fresh water as it showers over your body. They say it's almost impossible to find unless you're with someone that knows the location of it. So you got to take a guide on this one. The next one is the Lost City Trek Falls. Oh, that's pretty. It's in the Sierra Nevada National Park. Yes, in Colombia. You can sign up for a multi-day Ciudad Perdida trek through the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta Mountains along the Caribbean coast. It's a 4-day long journey winding through the jungle, taking trekkers to the famed Ciudad Perdida, or Lost City. Rediscovered for the first time by outsiders in the 70s, the city is 650 years older than Machu Picchu. Only a third of it is currently open to visitors, and there's archaeological discoveries that they're making all the time from this city in the jungle. Multiple river crossings, excellent swimming holes, and beautiful waterfalls along the way are another part of this journey. So this is cool. This is the Lost City Trek Trail in the Sierra Nevada National Park in the Santa Marta Mountains in Colombia. The next one is called the Cascada El Perico. It is in Guadalupe, Santander. Few international visitors have ever seen this waterfall. We get to see it today. Ooh, that's pretty. You can see the striated mountainside, right behind the waterfall. Looks like you could probably walk behind this waterfall as well. It's tucked away in the hills. There's no signposts for this waterfall, but they say if you download a certain map, it's not too difficult to get to. The walk here is mostly flat and straight. You do have to climb down to reach the base of El Perico, but once you're down there, you can swim and sunbathe and walk behind the powerful waterfall, and you can do it all for free. You likely, they say, have the place to yourself or just with a couple others around, because it seems to be in an area that not a lot of people know about and have not downloaded the special map. They say there are no facilities here, so bring your water, your meals, and your snacks, and take your trash home with you to preserve the beauty for others. Speaking of beauty, look at this one. This one is called Tres Cascadas. It's also in the same area, tucked away in the trees at the base of the valley. It's an oasis-like gem. Follows the same path as the last one. This one slightly further from the roadway, and you have to cross over a shallow stream to get to it. Someone has hung a rope to help you before you've got to climb up some rocks. But once you get there, you get these 3 stunning waterfalls. And the water isn't very deep, so you can't really swim. It's more like dipping your toe in. But you can sit on one of the large rocks here and just enjoy the view. Beautiful. The next one is the Marinka Waterfalls in Minca, the town located right outside of Santa Marta, not far from the Tirona National Park, which they say is a charming little town, Minca, with some nice cafes and restaurants, nearby coffee and cacao farms, lush forests and mountains, provide respite, they say, from the heat of the Caribbean coast. Here's Marinka. There it is. Several great waterfalls nearby to cool off in. The Marinka waterfalls are, they say, impressive and worth the effort to get there. About a 90-minute hike from the town, although you can catch a moto taxi if you need to. And the hike is nice. With some luck, you get to see some beautiful birds and butterflies along the way. There is an entrance fee to get into these waterfalls, but there's also a bathroom and a changing area. So there's some more facilities here. Beautiful. The next one is breathtaking. It's called Salto del Tequendama Falls. Tequendama has a Q in it. It's near Bogota. 132 meters tall. No walking is required to see this one. You get the best view right from the roadside where the bus drops you off. And check out this picture. What? That's right by the side of the road? Yeah. They say you do have to plan to visit this waterfall. You need to be sure it's a clear day. Otherwise, you're only seeing the clouds. And the weather is not always predictable or good. You can't access the base of this waterfall too far down. Can't swim here. And they say, unfortunately, and this might ruin this picture for you, I'm sorry, but the water here is contaminated and polluted. So you don't really want to get near the waterfall itself. You don't want that mist on you. They say it's best to view this one from afar. It's on a large cliff edge. There are views of near the vertical valley and vividly green trees and moss. I mean, the view itself is breathtaking. Sucks that it's polluted and gross. Really beautiful. There are also a few restaurants and food grilled on the open fire in this area. There's also a hotel, the Tequendama Hotel or Hotel de Salto. It was once abandoned. Now it's been restored with some exhibits and it might be kind of fun. This waterfall also has a really unique history to learn about. It is incredibly beautiful. What a bummer that it's polluted and yuck. Next one, we're coming to the end. This one is called Cascade Bosque de Niebla. It's in the Corcora Valley region near Salento, partially hidden. You kind of see it between the trees there. You got to see it on a hike. It's in the Coffee Triangle of West Colombia. We're not going there because I don't think it's safe. No, but we can see it on the picture. There is a way to get down to the base of the falls, but the path is in really bad shape. You can't swim in the water. So they say just enjoy the view as you hike by. The next one is the Santa Rita waterfall in Salento, the famous Colombia coffee region, home to these lush landscapes with incredible waterfalls. This one, about 6.5 miles or kilometers away from the touristic town of Salento. It's about an hour-and-a-half hike where you pass through the gorgeous Columbia Coffee Triangle region, plus Fincus farms that many locals still live in. And here is this waterfall. I think this is a cute waterfall. It's not a waterfall, they say, that will leave you in awe the moment you look at it. It's small, so small that no one really even bothered with measuring how tall it is. Looks like maybe 5 to 10 meters. But despite that, tourists and locals visit this waterfall daily. It empties into a big pool where you can swim and cool down from the heat. And combined with the dense forest that surrounds the waterfall, they say it's an experience not to be missed. And you can see the people swimming at the base of that waterfall. They look pleased. It looks lovely. And that brings us to the end of Waterfall Wednesday. I don't know if you had a favorite. I'll run through them really quickly. That's the biggie. El Chiffon. So this one is to Parto. La Ventiadera. Lost City. Cascada. What did I say? Perico. Yeah, Cascada El Perico. Tres Cascadas. Marinka. Salto. Bosque. And Santa Rita. Go into the chat. See which one you like the best. Phineas says everywhere has microplastics now, even the most remote parts of our planet. Unfortunately, that's very true. Yeah. Say hello to Juan Valdez. Hola, Juan. The world's getting so polluted, says Phineas, you need to bring a water test kit everywhere with you. Isn't that the truth? Yeah. No gorillas in that mist. Isn't that the truth? Anybody have a favorite? They're all beautiful, says Stella Luna. Beautiful like them all, says Mindy. All right. Rhonda says, all beautiful, but maybe too many places for kidnappers to hide. Yeah, be careful. Don't turn your back when you're don't drop your vigilance while you're swimming in the pool, in the polluted pool, right? Man. You know, I do want to thank Lori from Above the Bar and Daniel D for popping in with a, do I have it? $60 super sticker. You have no idea how much the show needed that to fund the platform and keep everything rolling. Lori from Above the Bar and Daniel D, absolutely amazing. So appreciate it. Really, really kind. You guys, so nice. Always taking care of us with the, I think, do you still have the drinks? The Kimikaze and the Maduro Mule and the Martini at the bar where you can go get a drink and part of the proceeds help fund this show. I'm just have always felt so grateful to be included in that. Really, really appreciate that. So nice. And you know, I have to say that I feel like this is a place that has been with us since the KGO days. And support continues even to this day. So really huge thank you to the Red Jack in San Francisco. I think it's on Bay Street, right, Lori? The Red Jack Saloon. Lori Above the Bar. Huge thank you to Lori and Daniel D as well for the contribution to this show. And to everyone who funds this show as well. The super chats and super stickers are always open during the show and afterward as well. A lot of people contribute via PayPal. The show does have a PayPal account. The information is in the daily description and in the About tab. Huge thank you to Joyce M, Janet W, Donald S, Wes, Kathleen G. Thank you so much for all the contributions to the After Party Live. You are very appreciated. And thanks, Lori and Daniel D as well. All right. That is the After Party Live on a Waterfall Wednesday. I appreciate you guys so much. Tomorrow on the Mark Thompson Show, David Katz will be in. We have a lot to ask him about. And then it's Trivia Thursday here on the After Party Live. So I'll see you tomorrow. And I appreciate everyone for being here, spending time, and all the ways you contribute to the show as well. All right. Bye.
The After Party Live would like to thank the following contributors and viewers like you.
Go to the Red Jack. Welcome, and please do come back. Thanks, Stella Luna, and I like your cat picture. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate you. Thanks for the concrete story, Teacher Lori. Oh, that's a good point. I haven't seen Murphy here today. Have you seen Murphy? If Murphy's here, I'll play it. I'll give her a second. I haven't seen her name pop up. But happy birthday, Murphy. We love you.